I've been deeply researching the loser's queue conspiracy, and I'm certain it exists, except it's not quite what you think it is. You probably think loser's queue is Riot's matchmaking system that purposefully matches you with worse teammates than your opponent gets, so that you're destined to lose before the game even starts. And the crazy part about this? There's some truth to it. And here's the thing, the system is designed to keep you at a 50% win rate. It does that by matching the average rank of each team, so both sides have roughly the same MMR, which works out on paper to a coin flip. So in theory, if you play above average, you should climb. So why does it feel like your teammates are significantly gapped for a whole series of games? Regardless if you're playing decent or even playing well, you still end up losing, and there's nothing you can do. Well, here's the first crack in the system. That coin flip is measured at the wrong moment. Your MMR is matched when you queue up, but that's not the MMR that loads onto the rift. Between those two moments sits draft. Someone gets counter-picked. Someone's trying a new champ for the first time. Someone got auto-filled into a role they touch twice a year. Someone's on their third loss and tilted out of their mind. So that clean 1600 versus 1600 the system signed off on, by the time minute 0 starts, it's more like 1550 versus 1650. The real MMR of a game is an almost unpredictable number, and there is nothing the system can do to account for it. It balanced a game that no longer exists, and it gets worse because even the part it did balance is hiding something. Equal team averages does not mean equal lanes. Your team can average 1600 with a plus 10 mid laner and a minus 10 jungler, and on a spreadsheet that's fine, but roles don't have equal influence. A 10 MMR gap in mid is a farming difference. A 10 MMR gap in the jungle is a snowball. Their guy out ganks yours, takes every objective, and by 15 minutes the entire map feels unplayable, and every lane swears their opponent is smurfing. Now stack that on top of the counter picks from draft, and you've got a game that was essentially doomed the moment you hit Q. And all of this is assuming the matchmaker even found 10 equal players to begin with, because balancing MMR is only half its job. The other half is your queue time. Nobody sits in a 15-minute queue for a perfect game. You dodge, close the client, and stop playing, and Riot knows it. So the system is willing to accept bigger gaps between individual players just to get a lobby made in a decent amount of time. Same story as before. The team averages look even, but now one team has a 1400 and an 1800 who cancel out beautifully on paper and on the rift. That 1400 is just gapped, and here's the detail almost nobody knows. This barely touches you in gold at 8 p.m. on a Saturday. It hits at 3 a.m. It hits emerald and above, where the player pool gets so thin, the system has exactly two options: stretch the gaps or make you wait forever. It chose the gaps. Your midnight rank session isn't cursed, it's understaffed. Stack the draft drift, the lane gaps, and the 3 a.m. stretch matches back to back, and that losing streak you're on stops being a mystery. It's math, which brings me to the part that actually made me mad. Your MMR itself. When you're new, the system has no idea who you are, no confidence in its own number. That's why placements feel random, and it's exactly why Smurfs stomp. The system starts them at a guess, but the more games you play, the more rigid your MMR becomes. It stops listening. You win a bunch of games, and the number barely budges. So it feels like, no matter how many games you grind, your teammates never get any better, and here's the wildest part. They aren't. Your MMR is so locked in that you'd have to win a genuinely absurd amount of games to truly escape your rank. Play the exact same way on a fresh account, and you'd probably place higher than the rank you've been grinding for months. The system trusts its first impression of you more than your last 200 games. Now for the spicy one. Riot's lead gameplay designer went on his personal Twitter and made the boldest claim in ranked history. Loser's queue does not exist, full stop, and I believe him about the switch. But engagement-optimized matchmaking is not a conspiracy theory. It's a published research paper written by actual game industry scientists on how to arrange matches so players keep playing longer. I'll link it below. The industry has literally patented matchmaking designed to drive spending ending. And Riot, at the end of the day, is a corporation. Their goal is money, not your best experience. Every algorithm you touch, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, is engineered to keep you on for one more scroll. So believing that at least a piece of that thinking lives somewhere in your queue, that really isn't crazy. It's just unproven. So let's land this. Loser's queue is real. It's just not a guy at Riot pressing a button on your account. It's a system that balances the wrong number at the wrong moment, ignores the lanes, stretches the gaps at 3 a.m., freezes your MMR, and answers to a corporation that profits when you queue up angry. 10 players load into your game, and 9 of them are random noise. 1 of them is in every single game you will ever play. You are the constant. And look, sometimes you will just get unlucky. That's real. I literally showed you the math. But choosing to be a consistently good player instead of a potentially good player is the only way you beat loser's queue. Drop your longest loss streak in the comments, and I'll tell you the exact odds it happened naturally. I've been researching those too.